Hey guys, in this video I want to show you how to make a succulent topped pumpkin or winter squash because that is what I'm using. So here are the steps. Now the first step is optional and it's something that I didn't do for mine. You can cut the stem off your pumpkin and you'll want to use a pair of sharp pruners and make sure not to cut the pumpkin when you're doing it. The reason I didn't cut the stem out of mine is because my squash had such deep ridges in it that the stem actually helped to hold the succulents up. So next you want to apply a generous layer of clear gel tacky glue, which is something you can pick up at your local craft store, and I like to use quite a bit of it on the top of the pumpkin. And then I will apply a layer about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick of sphagnum moss, and I like to press it down really tight to the top of the pumpkin. Now you just add succulents to your heart's content. I like to use a mix of different colors and textures and sizes of succulents to give it a really full, beautiful look. The goal is to keep adding succulents until you don't see any moss. Okay, now that your pumpkin's done, here are the care instructions. If you used fresh succulent cuttings, ones that haven't had a chance to dry or callus on the ends, you'll want to wait 1 week before you water. If you use succulent cuttings that you allowed to dry for a few days before you did your project, you can water as soon as the glue dries. And I like to wait several hours for that glue to be really dry before I water. And to water, you use a spray bottle, and I like to try to angle it in between the succulents so that you get the moss thoroughly wet. Just misting the foliage doesn't do it. You have to get water to the moss. You want to be careful if you're using a really deeply ridged pumpkin or squash because the water has a tendency to want to pool in that deepest spot in the center. So after you're all done watering, gently tip your pumpkin to one side and let any excess water escape. And then wipe the sides and the bottom of the pumpkin so that you dry any excess moisture off because that can lead to rot a lot quicker. After a while, your pumpkin or squash will start to rot. That's just how it goes. This is not a long-term project. This will last for a couple of months. You'll get to enjoy it for the fall months. But when it starts to rot, you'll want to remove the succulents and either plant them in containers or out in the landscape if you live in a mild enough climate. Now we did put together a series of videos that has the same concept, the same technique, where I applied succulents to a piece of driftwood actually using hot glue, just because there was a lot of people who were concerned about whether or not these succulents would survive in conditions like this. And we did a 3-part series when I put the arrangement together, and we did a midway update, and then we did another video when I removed them from the driftwood just to show how they had rooted, didn't lose a single one of them. So you might check out that series of videos if you're a little concerned about putting this many succulents and this much time and effort into a project and maybe not having success with it. So check that out. We'll put a link in the description or comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.